The benefits of getting married at certain ages. Here are the benefits of getting married in your 50s and older. You know, when you reach 50, 60, 70, marriage itself becomes a whole new concept. Maybe you were married once, twice, 3 times, maybe more. Maybe you haven't been married at all. And getting married in your 50s, 60s, or 70s, it's a whole new experience for you. Getting married that late in life is as if you were in your 20s again, your 30s, your 40s. Because when you find love and that sparks the flame inside you and the other, person you're with, age doesn't matter because you have found someone that you can spend your life with. It's a wonderful thing to find someone at any age, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. And when you're in your 50s, if you're single and you've been single, it just makes that new union that much sweeter. Or if you've been married a couple times, you kind of know what to look out for, hopefully. That's kind of cool. So at this age, and any age really, but marriage still continues to convey tax breaks and benefits and protections and more. So those are some immediate benefits to getting married in your 50s. Also, usually one of you is moving into your spouse's place so you can combine living expenses, liquidate the other residence, combine income, share expenses. And at this stage of the game, age-wise, that's very important. Because as you get older, you you don't really want to work anymore. I mean, you do because you have to, yeah. But it's not like you're in your 20s or 30s or even 40s where you're like, oh, I just got this new career and I'm ready to go gung-ho. I'm going to be here for 10 years. And, you're looking forward with that kind of optimism. Whereas when you're 50, you're looking back and it's like, been there, done that. I'm tired of that. You know what I really want to do? I want to work part-time. I want to start a little side business. I don't need all the money I make. And let's say you did. You made a lot of money. 20s, 30s, 40s, going into your 50s. And you've saved a lot of money and you've accumulated. You don't want to work. Point is when you meet someone, you really just want to have fun. So in your 50s, if you can, you work less, you work smart. You still make money. But in your 50s, you're like, you know what? Let's start playing. Let's start traveling. Let's start doing things, activities things I never could do before because I was never in a relationship that wound up being, in a marriage situation. Or maybe you were married and those marriages, they worked out or they didn't, they got their memories or whatever. But you got divorced, you got separated. And this is a new opportunity with someone because you're getting married in your 50s. And so you're going to take this time now and you're going to treat it a little more special. Also, while you may have experienced many forks in the road of life, this can work to your advantage at your age because you both have learned a few more things about life. You've learned a lot. 20s, 30s, 40s, now you're in your 50s. You've learned a lot. You've lived a lot of life. You know more about what makes you happy, where others in your age bracket, they may not have had that same experience or breakthrough. Maybe they have, but the point is you know exactly what you want and what you don't want. Marriage at this later age in your 50s has given you the benefit of knowing who you really are and the ability to live life on your own terms and with this special person because you've earned it. You're 50-something, 50 plus, and you've lived life. You got your ways. You know how to do things. You got your routines, and they're in stone because they work. And the person you meet, they have their routines, but you found similarities. You found commonality, and you found chemistry. And so now at 50, and let's say this other person is either, plus or minus 5 years younger, older, but you're still in that same age range. Things are really cooking because, like I said, you've got life experience behind you, supporting all these newfound activities and things you're going to be doing with your life now with this new love of your life. Marital success is focused more on finding someone who's been through some of what you've experienced and who can wholeheartedly embrace your lives together. I've got friends who got married to their spouse, and they both came from divorced marriages. They both had kids. They both had things in common. And because they had similar life experiences, their marriage, made in heaven, was so much more compatible, and they were better for each other than their previous mates. It's how it is. It's life. No matter what age you are, you're looking for what everyone else wants at every age. Companionship, a significant other, fun times, plenty of smiles, daily hugs, a warm heart, new memories to create, continued personal growth, individually and as a couple, festive activities to attend, more growing financial security, hopefully good health, and love. Getting married in your 50s is almost no different than if you got married in your 40s, your 30s, your 20s, except the difference is life experience. You just know more. You've been through more. And yet you still have a future that is completely unknown and yet completely in your hands. Because if you're about to be married in your 50s, or you're getting married, or you are married, you were recently married in your 50s, you still got a lot of open white canvas to paint your future together. And that is super cool because, yes, you are older, but here's the deal. In a roundabout way, per se. Do you know that the future never comes? The future never arrives. It never comes to you. No. Instead, live in the moment. When you get to be this age, 50 years old, every day needs to be your wedding day. Every night needs to be your honeymoon. Live in the moment. And before you know it, 3 months later, 6 months later, a year later into the marriage, 2 years, 3, 5 years into the marriage, 5 and 10 years into the marriage, by living every single day as if it was your last. And you make the most of it. You maximize each day. Wow. Per se, you're kind of making up for those years you weren't married, 40s, 30s, 20s, because every single day you're pouring the maximum of your love, your heart, your mind, your soul, your body, everything into it. Honey, great to see you. Oh, I got something for you. Oh, what is it? It's a surprise. Come out to the garage. No, I'm just kidding. Come out to the driveway. I'm kidding. It's a new car. And that's something else too. See, at the later ages, 50 plus, maybe, and I'm just saying maybe your finances are in super order. You've had 30 years of working, saving. Hopefully you were smart about your money. And what does that mean? You can take more vacations, more fun times away. You can treat each other to gifts and things you never could when you were young and just starting out. So there's so many benefits to getting married when you're 50 plus, 60. I had a friend of mine. He got married when he was, I think he was 60, 59, 60, something like that. And he married a woman about 6 years younger than him. And they're together. They're loving it. They're doing it. They're having fun. And I think she came with kids. She had 3 adult kids, like 24 through 29 or something like that. And he didn't have any kids. So it was like instant family. And as I said in the previous audio about marrying in your 40s, he missed the diaper stage. For us guys, yay. I'm just kidding. But some people romanticize that idea. I remember my baby. No, okay, well, that's you. Enjoy that story. But the point is he instantly had these young adults that he could talk to and mentor and coach. And the kids, she did a great job. She was single for a long time, single mom. But she did a great job. 2 boys, 1 girl. Those kids, and I call them kids, but they're 29. Maybe one's 30 by now. Point is, great kids. Well-mannered, communicative, just active in their lives. It was great. So there's so many unique perks that come to you at different stages of your life, different decades of your life, in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, even your 60s and your 70s. I know a woman who got married recently, and she's in her 70s, and she married a man Both of them, of course, the woman and the man, they were already married before, but maybe somebody passed away. And so now, when you're in your 60s or 70s, even your 50s, people are dying younger these days. It's crazy. So you're left widowed, and you don't have anyone, and sometimes you don't date for 5, 10, 15 years when your spouse dies on you, passes just by surprise, or oh my gosh. So when you're ready to invite someone into your life to take away the boredom of just being alone, you're ready now. And I'll tell you this right now. I told this to this woman once who was widowed. And I told her because she was not getting out there. She was not being active in life. She was, let's just say, for example, she was just sitting on the couch every night watching TV. Every night, 365 days out of the year. Boring. Here's the deal, and this is for everyone. When you marry someone, you're not marrying them because they have brown hair, purple eyes, they're 6 feet, or they're this or that, whatever their physical makeups are, characteristics. You're not marrying this person because, it's initial attraction. I get it, but after a while, attraction goes away. This person has to have a personality. They have to have intellect. They have to have something going for themselves. Otherwise, get out of here. Hit the road. The point is, we date, and we marry people who turn us on, who turn the light on in our soul, who lift us up, who push us, who make us better people. They enrich our lives. It's this energy that I'll just call it, this vibrance of life. That's what we want. When you're single, you're alone, you're laying in bed with your cat or your dog, eating bonbons or peanut butter cups. I don't know what you're doing. You're alone. You're single for years. Just like this one gal that I'm thinking about where she's been talking about being single for 6 or 7 years in her 20s. My God. All of the lost moments of personal growth being with another human being, she has missed out on. So all I'm saying, go after anyone, almost no matter what they look like per se, who definitely has their finances in order. That's a major plus. Who lifts your spirits, who lifts your boat in the water of life, who lights you on fire, that energy. And when that person is gone, whether they divorced you, you divorced them, or they died, or then you're single and you've been alone, pursue that light. Pursue that energy in someone until you die and your light goes out, because of age or circumstance. So when you're 50 and you've been divorced a couple times, or you're a widow, do not think that life is over. It ain't over until your life is over. People come into our lives for a reason. They come and go. They stay for a short term. They stay for a long term. We have no control over it. We do, but we don't. Because circumstances or the universe or unknown factors come into the world. I have seen, and I'm sure you have too, I have seen so many families, husbands, wives, families, kids, be destroyed from car accidents or mishaps or something. And I'll spare you the details of what something could be. You can use your own imagination. And those lives are ripped apart. So you've got to say a prayer. You've got to be thankful. You've got to feel like, oh my God, I'm the luckiest person around. I'm still alive. There's been people who have just missed death because of just whatever reason. So anyhow, the point is, keep living. And when somebody comes across your little radar and you two are getting along and you've been divorced or you've been a widow, just say to yourself, that was a book I read and lived a couple years ago. It was a good book. I miss that book. I got so much out of that book. But that book is over. And I've read it. I miss it. But it's time to pick up a new book. It's time to start a new chapter in my life. That was a chapter, a time in my life that I had good times or bad, but they are over. And I'm not going to live in the past. You go drive down the road and you spend 80% of your time looking in the rearview mirror, you're going to hit a flagpole. You're going to hit a telephone pole. You're going to rear end somebody. You're going to get into an accident. You've got to keep your eyes forward 90% of the time, 10% looking back. In fact, one more story. I was hanging out with a friend of mine, and two of her lady friends came to our table. And these women were in their late 60s, I believe. And I was just talking to them. And I noticed the one, I said, you kind of seem like you're in the past. You seem to be 50-50, like looking in the past a lot. What's up? And she said, well, I lost my husband. He died, and he was the love of my life. And, what am I to do? And I told her, I said, 50-50, huh? Well, I'll tell you what, with all due respects, why don't you change that and make that like a 60-40 or a 70-30? Because see, that chapter of your life, you lived it to the fullest, right? Yes, we did. Great. Is the chapter continuing or is it over? Well, it's over. Okay, great. You're going to take that life that you had with that person, and the next man, in her case, who comes around, who wants to take you to dinner and take you out dancing and maybe wants to show you a little bit, go for some walks along the ocean or whatever, activities. Take them up on it, because you've got to keep living. And there is no reason for you to keep moping around, sulking about the past, and just leading a life near like on life support because you're just talking and thinking about the past so much. No. Celebrate the past. Celebrate it. You had something that maybe a lot of people didn't have, and it was his time to go for whatever reason. Could be health, or it was an accident. You've got to say a prayer and say, I miss you. I wish you were here, but you're not. And I hope you're somewhere having fun. And if you're somewhere having fun, I'm going to go have some fun. I'm going to go live my life. I'll always live my life in accordance with honoring you, respecting you, loving you, and I'll always remember those good times. I always will. You'll never be forgotten. So where do you want to go on that date? All right, let's go. And then before you know it, you're living life. That chapter's behind you. You got the new chapter to look forward to because you're getting married again in your 50s, 60s, or 70s. And you're living life. And that's what it's about. Life is about living. And if you are alive, you must live it. No matter who comes in and out of your life. Period. Hey, if you're getting married in your 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, go for it. Congratulations.